Today on The Grid, our topic is nerdy camera stuff with our special in-studio guest, Jeff Leimbach. My co-host, he flies on Pan Am. He loves gyros with lamb. He loves the Disney parking lot tram, not Pebbles, but Bam Bam. He's the real Rocket Man. Erik Kuna is here. We've got some awful giveaways. They're awful, and it all starts in just 30 seconds.
The Grid is brought to you by Platypod, the tripod alternative that is changing the world. Everybody has a Platypod. You should too. Go to platypod.com.
Heyo, and welcome to another live episode of The Grid. My name's Scott Kelby. Glad you guys are here. Joining me, as always, the real Rocket Man, not that North Korean guy. The real Rocket Man, Mr. Erik Kuna. Mr. Kuna?
Hey, Scott, how's it going?
Well, Erik, it's just going fine. But Erik, as nice as it is to see you, and it's always a treat, we have a very, very special guest.
Oh, yes.
He's been on The Grid before. He's a Kelby 1 instructor. He is an architectural photographer. He's a love machine. Ladies and gentlemen, all the way from beautiful somewhere in Orlando, Florida. Yep, it's Jeff Leimbach. Jeff, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. That was quite an intro. I appreciate it.
It's something.
It's something. So
Jeff, how many sets does it take for us to do one episode of The Grid?
Right now, 3.
Three. So I'm here on the Pandemic Set 1. Erik's over on Pandemic Set 2. Jeff's over on Pandemic Set 3.
I'm way over here.
And that's how we have them marked on the switching console, right? Jason's looking at everything that says pandemic button. He presses it.
And obviously, we're a big ad for Apple here.
Oh yeah. Hey, can we talk about this for Jeff? I don't know.
Oh, golly, don't do it.
No, I got to do it.
What?
Don't do it.
I got to do it because there's developments you probably don't know about.
Oh, golly. It's going to go downhill.
All right, so here we go.
I'm scared.
Just
Let's
for
do
a
this.
minute. On Monday, I wrote a blog post, and the blog post was called "Don't Be That Guy." There it is. That's the guy. Don't be that guy. And just in short, basically, I said this. A buddy of mine wrote a post on I think it was Facebook, on his Facebook page. And he just said, hey, after 9 years, I finally replaced my old MacBook Air with a new one. All right, it's been 9 years.
Yeah, the new one with the M1 processor.
Yeah, with the M1 processor, the new one with the M processor. And all he said was, ready? This is pretty bad. Here's what he said. I can't wait to download some apps and play with it. Come on, you got to attack him for that.
Oh, boy.
So how
All
long
out
was
war.
it, do you think, before people started telling him what a mistake he'd made? That I actually took some quotes,
Well,
and I'm
let's
like,
think. It probably took about a 0.7 seconds for it to upload, get on the internet. So I'd say 1 second.
about 1 second. So the first guy has to write. Now, all he said was, I bought this after 9 years. Ready? And I can't. His exact thing was time to install some native apps and play. That's what he said. What's one of his comments? That guy. There's always that guy, right? He says, the Mac slobbering love affair is so 2010. The PC world is where it's at. Now listen up. Terry never said, I chose it over a PC. He never mentioned the word. It was Terry White. That it was his comment.
I only picked a Mac because it's superior.
He didn't say anything. Just, I got a new thing, right? It's like if somebody gets something new, right? You're supposed to say,
Yeah.
hey, congratulations, use it in good health. I hope you enjoy it. That's it.
Oh, but we can't.
But we can't because there's a thing in life called that guy.
That guy.
You can't let it go. We're not even talking about PCs, but you can't go. So then somebody else shows up and says, I bought some brand of PC, MSI, that will run Premiere Pro for half the cost of yours. Apple's gotten way too spendy for what's inside the box. The next person, why not wait for the M2? Hey, why not wait for the M3 or the M4 for that matter?
Yeah.
Why not just wait? And then this other guy, make sure you have AppleCare on that M1 chip. They have problems. Instead of just being a regular, decent, nice person and saying either nothing, you don't have to say anything. Somebody got a computer. If it doesn't affect you, you got to realize he never mentioned a PC. He never mentioned, I got a new computer. Can't wait to play with it. And that guy...
Or asked, what do you think of my choice?
Yeah, he didn't say, what do you think I should get? You have people telling him he made a mistake, he bought the wrong thing, he paid too much, apples are trash, etc. So what my whole post was about is we have other options. Someone buys something that has nothing to do with you, you can A, just ignore it. Keep scrolling. Doesn't mean you don't have to go defend it. You don't have to defend your PC. Your PC was never mentioned. So I went and put it on my Facebook page, and I linked to it. And I'm going to go look, lots of comments on the Facebook page, because that's where people comment on blogs. You don't go to a blog and comment. You comment where your community is. All right.
You're going to be heard, right?
How many comments did I have? Let's just see. 149 comments, right?
Jeez.
Now.
I wonder how many of those were for that guy.
Okay, they're almost all like, yeah, this is crazy. And then the first guy goes, yeah, that's crazy. Oh, that guy's terrible. But you know, PCs are faster and they're less money. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe that you just did that.
It's just feeding into
You
it.
started not being that guy, and then you turned into that guy.
You started to like, yeah, that I hate when someone does that, but you know, PCs are faster.
Yeah.
I actually want to read exactly what he said.
It's like he apologizes up front.
Yeah, like he gets right up front. And here's one. I'm not going to tell anybody's names, but buy what you prefer, and as long as you like it and it does what you need, who cares? That being said, you will always have a much more powerful PC than a Mac for the same budget. Personal choice. I'm like,
You can't have it both ways.
you can't.
That's the half guy.
You are that guy.
You're the half guy. That's right.
You're the person that gives an apology, but then says "but" and tells you why you were justified to do the bad thing you did. Right? Well, 21 people come back, right? And they're like, "Oh my gosh, what's wrong with you?" And what's funny is, so all these people come. So I just wrote one thing. I just said to him, "Do you not realize what you just did?" And so, what do you think his response is? Now, a normal response would be, "Oh gosh, you're right. I didn't realize. I wasn't thinking. You're right. No one mentioned PCs. No one mentioned my computer. No one mentioned any of that stuff." And I brought it and made it my own argument. I defended my choice. I shouldn't have done that.
So the
That's
response
not what
was
he said.
probably something
Here's what he
that,
said.
I'm that guy.
Scott, if people can't handle the fact that a PC is more powerful and cheaper, or get put off by a comment, then that's a personal issue, not a that guy issue. It's a fact and sound financial advice, which I support during these unprecedented times of hardship. All right, anyway. It gets way worse. He comes back, another couple of guys show up. What? Like, he is the poster child for that guy. If you go to the dictionary and look up that guy, it's him. And he doesn't see it. So here's what I want to ask you guys.
All right.
Why does the guy that's that guy never realize that they're that guy?
Oh, that's a good question.
That is a good question.
Isn't it?
And I've
was
never
like,
found the
come on.
answer. I've never found the answer to that one.
I just want to remind people that when you type something and you hit that button to send, it's there forever. So you can't take it back.
I know, it's out there.
It's out there, man.
And then people are saying, at first I thought you were joking and having some ironic fun, but now I realize you are that guy.
Yeah, because at first maybe you were thinking like, oh, he's just messing with everybody.
Another person says, here's your that guy sign. Like everyone's saying, oh my gosh, you're that guy. The irony is so strong here.
But you can't see it. But
can't see it,
that
no.
person can't see it.
Yeah,
right?
and someone else wrote, so do you not just get that you showed us you're that guy? And that said, exactly. And not realizing it even makes him more that guy. The comments are just awesome. And then he comes back and says, at no point have I done that. Pointing out the facts is not a personal attack. Anyway. And he goes, Macs are overpriced for what they are. Fact. PCs provide more power. And then he goes on and on.
And on.
And you know what? This is why Nikons are better than Canons.
This is why Androids are better than iPhones.
Androids, I'm telling you.
It's the way it is. It's
This is the way it is.
Okay.
it's
You know
fact.
what? Actually,
This
this
is
is
fact,
good.
guys.
This is good that we're bringing this up for this conversation that we're going to have geeking out on cameras, because that's the typical argument that you get with cameras too. It's exactly right, Eric.
Yeah, it's just
agree.
like, and you know what the reality is? And that's we all get into the gear trap, right?
Yeah.
We all get into this thing where like, oh, I've got to have a PC or I got to have a Mac, or oh, Nikon cameras are better than Canon cameras, or Canons are better than Nikons. And it's like, that does not make your end product any,
No.
they don't really make your end product any better. Like, if you designed a cool poster on a Mac or a cool poster on a PC, people wouldn't know.
Yeah,
Nobody
it's a cool
knows.
poster.
Like, nobody knows.
Nobody has no idea what
If you
what
make
camera
a
you
great
used.
picture
Yeah.
with a Nikon or a Fuji, nobody knows. Like that, unless they are that crazy to go like dig into your XF data
Yeah.
and like figure out like what that, and guarantee you the world does not dig into your metadata.
All right. So I want to read a comment from Tim Oliver, and Tim he is so on this right here. Tim says, "That's why the Kelby One community is awesome. Pretty
It is.
much a toll-free zone. Wonderful folks. You know what? We fostered that from the beginning,
Yeah.
but I got to give credit to the moderators
Oh,
that
yes.
run that, like people like Cheeky Nando and Doc and Deb and
All
they
those
have
people.
fostered a community of freaking help and love, and that troll stuff doesn't happen there."
Yeah, I mean, that's been a thing since the beginning. Is we've been like, this should be a place that helps people, that lifts people
Yeah.
up, that doesn't go and attack.
No.
Because at the end of the day, too, I think when you're investing into education, when you're investing into training, you also get to that point where you realize that it isn't about just I need to buy this or I need to buy that. Like, I need to learn how to use this and I need to learn how to get better. And you kind of get past that. But I like Dave Clayton's comment too, though.
I love Dave Clayton. Dave Clayton says, "I bet he knows a better chicken sandwich."
I bet he does.
All right.
You need to ask him.
All right. So Dave, first, nice to see you. Love Dave Clayton, one of the
Yes.
greatest guys in the world. Jeff,
I agree.
isn't he?
Yes.
It's not just me. Eric,
No.
Oh yeah.
It's not.
Yeah.
you'll never find anyone that knows Dave Clayton that doesn't flip and love him. He is like one of the most beloved guys. All right. I want to make a quick confession. This is something I'm doing on my blog on Friday. I'm going to give you guys a preview.
You're going to confess your sins here? Right
No,
now?
I'm going to make.
Not to us.
No, it's not. Some people
Right
will
here?
see it. Some people will see it as a sin.
Okay.
But I'm going to tell you something that I had a realization this week, and I thought if I told anybody this, I'm going to get buried. And I'm going to get buried, but I'm going to say it anyway. I'm going to give you guys a preview of my blog on Friday.
Oof.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I'm curious.
I like Olive Garden.
Okay. Yeah, you too.
Look, it's not my favorite restaurant. It's not my favorite Italian restaurant.
Blasphemy.
But can I tell you, I like their salad.
Yep.
I like their breadsticks.
Yep.
And can I give you a thing? Can I tell you a tip for those of you? Because there's
I'm with you on the salad and the breadsticks.
All right,
Yeah.
but listen, if you order their takeout, if you go and say, I want takeout, they give you salad and breadsticks, right? They give you a big bowl of salad, but I kid you not, they give you an insane amount of breadsticks. Like if it's dinner for 4, they give you 1,100 breadsticks. Dude, you cannot believe how many breadsticks they give you. But I just want to say, I just wanted to get it off my chest. I realized the other night somebody said, you want to get Olive Garden? And I'm like, yeah, and we had Olive Garden. I'm like, I like this. But if you tell people that you like Olive Garden, you're like, it's like saying you bought a brand new MacBook Air.
Oh, yeah.
It's that stupid.
Olive Garden, yeah, that's another one of those topics.
Oh, I said a MacBook Air. What the heck's wrong with me?
Eggplant
But
Parmesan there.
But-
Eggplant Parmesan, that's my
Really?
favorite.
I haven't
yeah.
tried that. I tell you, their lasagna is shockingly good.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I'm cool with the
I'm just
salad and
saying it.
breadsticks. I'm with you.
I'm just saying it, and I know it's an unpopular thing to say, but I will say this: Olive Garden, who was in trouble a few years ago, right? They brought in a new I read about this, and I'm not an Olive Garden aficionado. I just happened to see this in my news.
I think you are, though.
No, I'm not. It's not even my favorite restaurant in Tampa. It's not even my favorite Italian in Tampa, which is Maggiano's, which I love Maggiano's. But anyway, back to our story. Is that they brought in a new CEO, and remember they had the everything was unlimited pasta.
Yes.
And the first thing he did, I think he came from, I want to say he came from Taco Bell, but I'm not sure. But anyway, new CEO comes in and says, hey, instead of just giving people more food, let's just focus on making better food. Let's stop all the endless pasta bowls and all that stuff.
Yes.
Let's put it on pause for a minute and let's make better food. And I got to tell you, I don't think Olive Garden's ever been better than it is now. I'm just saying it, and I'm getting it out there.
Yeah, that's good. Air of grievance. There you go.
It's done. I've said it.
I haven't been there in a while. I'm going now.
I will say,
I'm going to try.
Dude, get the takeout though.
All right, I'll get the takeout.
They do curbside. They bring it right out to your car. It's
Perfect.
contactless.
I'm not
You put it in your
have-
back seat, you drive away, and as you're driving, there'll be so many breadsticks, Jeff. They'll be sliding up to the front seat. It's amazing. I'm not joking about this.
Throw them out the window like papers, like the old paper boys.
All right, I want to take a break, and here's why. I want to take a break because we got to dig into this stuff here about the camera nerd stuff. But can we bring us all three back up on screen? All right. It's driving me crazy. Jeff is green.
I'm green.
His white balance is green. He's green.
Well,
you
yeah,
see
and
that?
I would actually say you're magenta.
I'm a tad magenta, but I'm okay with that. Erik, of course, is perfect. His skin tone is money. His lighting's perfect.
This might
Jeff
be what
is
I had
green.
for lunch, though. It
So
might
I want
be
Mike
natural.
to go over there
I've
and
always
put a
said
white
this.
balance
Actually-
on Jeff so he doesn't look green.
So you want to know about that? That set, I telling you, and I've said this before, it's the table and the reflection of the light off the table. That table casts
is
a
green.
green tone.
It sure
And
is.
I've always been frustrated with that table.
But I would tell you that if his pictures didn't have a green tone too. Look at the pictures behind him
I
on
know, but
the
it's,
screens.
but it's a table is casting
I see
a
it now.
green
Yeah.
tone.
Thanks for bringing it to my attention. I thought I looked
Oh
fine.
no, that's
No,
all
you
we're going
don't.
to
You
see
look
now.
awful.
That's
You're-
all we're going to see
you're
now.
hideous. All
That's right.
Well, let me tell you why this is important. Because Jeff also is like Dave Clayton. Everybody loves Jeff. Nobody
Yeah.
doesn't love Jeff. He's a great photographer. He's a great person. He's one of the best people I know. And you deserve to have a good skin tone.
I appreciate that.
I think
Deserve
Jason
to
just
have a good
pulled it
skin
a little
tone.
bit. Or
Let's take a
something.
short break. When we come back, I'm hoping that Jeff will look less green. It's not a lock, by the way. It's not a lock because Mike is not even moving anywhere near that screen. He's going over to the jib. So our commercial breaks are short. But we have just a real short little teaser about our upcoming outdoor photography conference. Check it out. We'll talk in just a minute. We're going to nerd out. Put on your beanies. We're getting ready to nerd.
For over 20 years, leading software developer Boris FX has made its mark on the film and television industry. Now, for the first time, our Academy and Emmy Award-winning visual effects tools are available for photographers. Welcome to Optics. Optics is a collection of 160 filters for Photoshop and Lightroom. Simply apply the effect and launch the interface. Optics features thousands of customizable and creative presets for photo editing and effects layering. Top tools include lens flares for cinematic looks, realistic night skies with star fields and moon generator, add lightning with on-screen interactive control. The Easy Mask tool creates masks with just a few clicks. Optics is available now as a plugin for Photoshop and Lightroom and includes the standalone application for macOS and Windows. Get Optics now for 15% off. Visit borisfx.com, add Optics to your cart, and apply coupon code KELBY15.
This segment of The Grid is brought to you by B&H Photo, the professional source since 1973.
We are back. Scott here with Mr. Kuna. Jeff's here. Jeff Leimbach is here. Cool guy that he is. And I'm just hoping that when we go 3-up that he doesn't look...
Oh, much better.
Oh, much better. Less green by you know.
Yeah. I'm not Kermit anymore.
At least 3 points.
At least 3 points, yeah. All right. So no, it's certainly better. It's not as magenta as I like to see Jeff because I see him when I close my eyes and picture Jeff, he's always a little bit more magenta. All right. So real quickly, so you guys know that we've been teasing for a couple of weeks that we have this outdoor conference coming up, and hundreds of people are already signed up for it, which is awesome. However, we said we were still working on the instructor list. Well, guys, we've got all the instructors nailed down. It is a unbelievable instructor list. It's coming up in May, so it's coming up, about a month, a little more than a month from now.
Yep.
But it's coming up in May. It's going to be awesome. And I want you to scroll down. I want you to see some of these instructors that we have here.
Dang.
Look
Wow.
at that.
So, I'm excited. We got Dave Black doing classes on outdoor like adventure sports. We got Tom Bowl doing classes on adventure photography. We have a couple underwater classes. So we have Dalton Ham, who won the Guru Awards.
Yeah, Dalton.
Underwater
He's good,
photography.
dude. He's good.
We got Karen and Jackie Kramer. They're doing macro photography
We
stuff.
got Kuna Man.
Yeah. And then we got some exciting ones. Like we got Alaya, who's like this awesome
Dude, he is
landscape
incredible.
and travel photographer. You know, he's going to be there. Erin Babnick, which is she's a Canon Explorer Light that does awesome landscape photography as well. Tyler Stableford's going to be there.
Okay, wait, stop right there.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to work with Tyler Stableford forever. I remember sitting in New York City at Photo Plus East and watching his presentation on the stage, and I swear my jaw just dropped. He's an adventure. He's an outdoor adventure photographer.
And he's like a cinematographer too. Like his use of lighting, like he does these environmental portraits of people.
Yes.
That I'm like, I wish I could even like dream of doing that.
I'm telling you what, guys, Tyler is going to blow your mind. And we just got an incredible, look at this instructor list. Seriously.
Hey, I got a quick story about one of these, Scott.
Oh, yeah, please.
So I got stories about a few of these from different tours and stuff. But I was, my wife and I were doing Taco Tuesday at a place where we live, and the table next to me was Deb Sandage. So we started chatting. She lives not too far from me, but so it was interesting to see her name pop up there. So shout out to Deb.
Deb did a conference with us and a class with us, and let me tell you, people love her. She's a great teacher and a really good photographer.
Beautiful
and she's
stuff.
Great communicator.
We got some new. We're having a wildlife class with Juan Pons as a new instructor
Juan
for us.
Pons.
Yeah, so he's doing a
Come
wildlife
on, look
class.
at this. Is a great group.
Right,
You got Gabe Biederman in there. You got Dave Black. How about Tom Bowl? I love Tom Bowl.
Yeah, Tom Bowl, awesome.
You know
and then
what's so nice?
Dave Black. I mean, Dave Black. He's like, he's just that guy that every time he speaks, I'm just like captivated and listening. Like he's a direct line inspiration into my photography.
But you know what's really nice? Can I say this?
Yep.
We get to work with such nice people. Now, there's plenty of jerks we can work with. There's great photographers who are just mean and awful and arrogant and everything. And we just don't work with those. We just don't work with those people. And we are so lucky that we get, like, as I look at this list, right? And it's like everybody there is such a good person. Yep. Like they're just so awesome as people, even if they weren't photographers.
Well, and they're focused on not only photography, but education.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the other
real
thing is, like a lot of, the list there, like there are people that not only they're professional photographers, but they're into sharing their craft, giving the secrets away, not holding back. That's the big thing with us. We don't want to have people that want to hold the secrets.
Let's not hold back. Let's nerd.
Yeah, let's nerd out. Well, the one thing is if people have questions for us about nerdy stuff, definitely ask them.
Ask nerdy stuff, or
we'll just ask Jeff.
If you have a particular nerdy thing, I'm going to let you kick it off, Eric, because you are, I don't want to say it, you are a man who enjoys technology.
I do.
How is that, right?
I do.
But if Eric enjoys technology at a different level than, say, everyone else in the world. Well, Eric builds stuff. Eric comes up with stuff. You know what you're really good at? Can I tell you something?
I don't know what
you're
saying.
Really good, and he knows I've said this before. Eric is very good at research. Like if Eric wants to learn something, he will follow every rabbit hole to figure out how to do whatever in the heck he wants to do. Like Eric's like, it'd be fun to shoot a rocket, and next, a year and a half later, he's known all over the world for rocket photography. He wasn't born with it. He wasn't born on the base over at NASA. Oh, look, it's baby Erik. He's decided, I really want to do this. Then Erik goes, you know what? It's kind of tied into this. I kind of like to learn how to do the Milky Way. Now he's famous for his Milky Way shots. Elon Musk is sharing his shots, all this crazy crap. It's like you're really good at figuring out stuff.
Well, thanks.
Now that I've set you up, you better have a good nerd one to start us with.
Well, nerdy stuff. So one of the things that I'm really into right now is kind of trying to maximize what you can do with your existing cameras, right? So actually, because I didn't connect yet, and Jason will definitely yell at me that I didn't connect yet if I don't, but I showed you this shot the other day, And this was just an experiment where I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and see if I can push my smartphone even further. So this is actually the International Space Station flying over Tampa, right, from my iPhone. So that's a long exposure that's being computed through the iPhone to create that streak of the ISS and the stars. And I was able to shoot that image and process it and have it, it was like 15 seconds, that's about 30 seconds, and it was done. No filters, no nothing, no anything, you know. Now, is it like the most high quality, the best? No. But what I'm looking at is going, what's it going to be like in 5 years? You imagine this computational photography stuff in 5 years,
Right.
you know? And then the other thing, you know, that I've been getting into is really kind of pushing my Astro gear in my own backyard, right? So I'm in a Bortle 9, like super light polluted, like we're in Tampa Bay, like just light pollution central. So all we have to do to like compensate for that is control the amount of light pollution coming into the camera, and then also just rotate our cameras with the sky. So I've got a old Canon 70D, I've got an old 100-400, and the only piece of gear that's kind of like in there is I've got a star tracker. So I've got a star tracker, and
What's a star tracker?
all it is it's just rotating the camera slowly, so it rotates and counterbalances the rotation of the stars in the sky. So every 24 hours, the stars go around and around every 24 hours, so just counter rotation of the sky. So that's all you're doing with it. And then from my light polluted backyard, I can get a shot like that.
Oh, come on.
Right? So just
you
by
seeing this shit?
just
Yeah, I
star
see it,
tracking,
yeah.
He's
light
cheating.
pollution, you know, and that's it. And now the difference is if you go to a non-polluted area, that same thing looks like that. But if you look at like the light pollution, I mean, that's amazing.
Still amazing
Yeah,
from your
For being in your backyard.
Tampa.
It's not that I had like a brand new camera with crazy ISO or I'm not shooting. Now, would your R6 be better? A little bit, maybe a little bit.
Maybe.
Not
But
on
not
this
like,
screen.
Not
yeah.
like ridiculously more. Because at the end of the day, it's just, what are you doing? You're just capturing, I mean, this light is coming from thousands of light years away.
Is
It
though?
happened millions of years. That actually,
Millions
like
of light
millions of
years
years
away.
ago, that light
I
actually
believe
emitted.
it's all
Crazy.
green
Yeah.
screen. Hey, Steven
Yeah, I
wants
mean, the
to
Earth is
know-
flat, right?
Steven wants to know which star tracker are you using?
So I'm using the iOptron. It's the Sky Guider Pro is what it's called. It's $300. It is $300. But I shoot Milky Way, I Star Track, I do that stuff. You can get one even cheaper than that. Like the Move Shoot Move is like $200.
Hey, let me say something here, Eric. You said a minute ago that it may not be the best image in the world. You got it from your iPhone, and you understand the quality and everything.
Yep.
But the reality is that you have a photo of the International Space Station. How many people have an image of the International Space Station? That's the thing.
Well, and that's the thing. You know what's beautiful about technology, right? So that's how that image went down. So if you go back to this image, right? So what happens? You know, I'm just a space nerd, right? So I've got an app on my phone,
Space.
right? That's called Sky Guide, right? And what it does is it just reminds me. All it reminds me is what the stars and what the sky's going to be like tonight. So I have it set up to send me notifications. So I'm sitting there in the house, and I get a notification on my Apple Watch from my phone that says, "Hey, the ISS is going to pass over you in 15 minutes." And I said, "Huh? I've never tried to shoot it with my iPhone. Let me try because I know that I've got this computational photography software. Let's try it." Grab my tripod, go out there, line it up. When the time comes, I hit the little record button. I watch it. It's so cool. You watch it draw itself. It just basically stacks the images on top of each other, and it sees it. Like you're seeing it in real time. I'm like, why doesn't the Canon camera have this built in? It would be so easy. But then it's like, just show me the long exposure as it's going, and then I push stop when I wanted to stop, and I'm done. I got the finished file. It was amazing.
All right, Eric, question from Jennifer. She says, it's a crazy good shot. Do you use a light pollution filter?
Yes. I mean, I have to in a Bortle 9 area.
Okay, what brand?
So that was taken with a, golly, which one was that? I'll tell you in a second, but basically it's a drop-in filter for my sensor. It's a CLS filter is what the name of it is. So, but if you Googled CLS light pollution filter. I've also used the Hyeta light pollution filter. I can show you another image from that. It's called this light pollution filter. But always when I'm in my backyard, I have to use a light pollution filter. Now, that other shot I showed you, that was from another location, it was dark, you don't need a light pollution filter.
Hey, but you know what's cool? Is Jennifer knew to ask if you used a light pollution filter, something I would not know, which means Jennifer's a nerd.
Yes.
That's right.
Jennifer knows how to do this stuff already.
You've got to cut down with the night sky. When you're in a city, you've got to cut down all the lights that we have going up into the atmosphere. So all it's doing is filtering out. Now the one I use there is filtering out. That's why the image looks a little bit more red, because it is filtering out anything close to. We could get really nerdy now and go to basically it's going to isolate small spectrums of the wavelengths of
now
light.
my head hurts.
And
Dude, if you
take
use
out the
wavelengths and the word
spectrums of light.
photography in the same sentence, I'm out.
Why did you invite me for this particular session?
You know
I'm
why?
not sure why.
Because I know that you like Olive Garden too.
That's right. That's the
That's
discussion
why
I
you're
can
here.
chime in
All
on.
right, get
Thank
ready,
you.
Jeff, because
There you go.
I'm coming to you next. I'm already set with mine. Mine's ready to go. Let's go nerd out in Jeff World.
Oh, nerd out at Jeff World. You know, I made some notes last night because I wasn't 100% sure what we were going to talk about today. I would just maybe want to talk about things on your camera that you may not even know were there. Is that nerdy enough?
That's nerdy.
See, because I'm the least nerd in my group. I'm not really the technical guy. I'm more the creative guy. So
You are very creative.
So did you know? All right, did you know that you can change your histogram from brightness to RGB? Did you know that a lot of cameras have a multi-function button that can be very handy on the front of your camera?
Like it's an extra button?
It's an extra button, and it can do a lot of cool stuff. Like on my R5, when I push that button, I can see in my viewfinder 5 different settings that I can actually change really quickly without removing my eye from the viewfinder.
Can I do that on my R6?
Yes, you can. You may do that on that one. There's a lot of things in a camera that people just, if you don't use it, you don't necessarily know it's there. It's like Photoshop and Lightroom. If you don't use a lot of those tools, and I've been using Photoshop for a long time, and there's tools in there that I have no idea because I don't need them for my workflow, so I don't actually go to them very often. But they're there. There's tons of stuff to discover. So take some time to actually look at your camera and go through it and find out what some of these cool things are. I use one thing in the camera all the time is a virtual horizon line, which allows me to level the camera.
The virtual horizon line.
All the time.
So every time, if you see some of the images in the back, a virtual horizon line was used on every single one of those images, just to get the camera level. It's very important for my type of work.
Now, do you assign it to where it's easy to get to?
I do. All I have to do is hit my info button and cycle through my info button. Number 3 on my info button cycle through is that virtual horizon line. So.
Yeah, the virtual horizon line, it's great. So it's what it looks like what you'd see a pilot use, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now there's different cameras that have different versions of it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But basically it just shows you here's your horizon, so you can tilt your camera.
I mean, it's the thing that would help
even
more people
back and forth.
on the grid.
The grid for the
no one's
flying
using
critiques. You can just keep that horizon line.
All right, we got to take a break, but I'm going to give you my first nerd out now. All right. So inside your camera, I got to turn on my so you can see my screen here. Hold on. Give me 1 second because I got to show you my stuff. That sounds bad, but you know what I mean. All right, hang on. And let me know when you see my screen. And not you guys out there, but Jason in the control room. There we go. Okay.
Ooh, that's a good one.
All right. So deep in your camera, if you've ever said this question, my camera used to be sharp. Mm-hmm. This lens used to be sharp. If you've ever said that, this lens isn't as sharp. So don't do this. Do not do this with your new lens. Do this when you've got that lens and you think, man, this 70-200 or whatever used to be so sharp, it's not as sharp anymore. Look lenses get out of alignment. We
a
throw
little
them in
bit.
our bags, and they're in the back of our car, and they're floating around, and Erik does horrendous things to his lenses. If it's not as sharp as it was, you need to get a thing like this. So it's called the Focus Pyramid Target. It's $25, and it helps you to be able to do the thing I'm going to tell you about. So inside of your camera, down in the nerd area, buried in there, and it doesn't matter whether it's a Nikon or a Canon or a Sony, take a look. There's a thing called basically your autofocus fine tuning. On Canons, it's in that autofocus menu, and it's called the AF micro adjustment. For Nikons, it's called autofocus fine tune, and for Sonys, it's also called AF micro adjustment. What this does is it, in combination with that tool I just showed you, it is going to allow you to add a bit of correction in your camera to bring back sharpness from lenses that aren't sharpened anymore. Now, I don't totally understand what it does. I just know that it works really well. It's amazing. But the first thing you have to determine is you have to do a test. Now, the thing I showed you, this thing, the Focus Pyramid Target, it's inexpensive. Now, you can buy very expensive tools to do this. You can spend hundreds of dollars on a tool to let you fix the focus of your lens. You do not need to. However, you will be disappointed when you get this in the mail. The reason is the Focus Pyramid Target, which in this picture looks made like it's made of plastic, is actually cardboard, and you assemble it like you would.
But it gets the job done.
So then what you do once you've got the target is you go and you put the target on a table level, and you got to be on a tripod.
That's a good one. Mm-hmm.
So you're on a tripod, the focus target's on a table, and what you're looking for is, I'm going to go back and show you. Do you see this little blue line right in the middle of the scale, that blue line? Focus on that blue line, okay? So here's what I did, because the settings are kind of like this. They're like -5, -10, +5, +10. So what I did was I took my phone, and I have this app where I can write stuff. So I stuck my phone in and said, here's no adjustment, so +0.
Makes sense.
Then I took the next shot. I changed it to +5, and I went into the menu to my AF micro adjustment and set it to +5. Then I set it to +10. Then I set it to -5 and -10. So I have basically 4 shots and 1 regular. All I'm looking to find is if any one of these looks sharper, I can make my lens sharper. I can bring back that original sharpness. You take it into Lightroom, you zoom in. You got to zoom way in right on that little blue thing. If one of those looks sharper, you know that's it. All I have to do is set my camera to +10 every time for this lens. Set that as the default. And now I brought back the sharpness.
And you can save it. You can save it for that lens.
Yep, you can save a preference
you can have it
for
when
that
you
lens.
put on that lens.
You put on that lens
it
and it
automatically
goes,
changes
oh, great. This is the one that needs to be adjusted by +10. And then your sharpness is back. That's nerd stuff.
Yeah.
Nerd
stuff.
Let's take a break. When we come back, we've got some shout outs. We're going to tell you about a new TV show, 2 new TV shows. When we come back, and then we're going to talk a lot more. Most of the rest of the show is about Olive Garden. Is that no?
It works for
Yes,
me.
yes. We're
Are
going to
you
talk
bringing?
about Olive Garden.
Are you bringing
We've
what?
got,
Are you bringing it in? Did you order out?
I'm bringing in breadsticks.
Okay, cool.
All right, so we're going to have breadsticks. We'll be right back.
Imagine if someone took the same photographic techniques and principles and tools used by today's top pro photographers, but they applied those same techniques to shooting with the iPhone. Imagine the type of images that you'd be able to create using those same ideas. Well, that's exactly what I did in my brand new book. It's called the iPhone Photography Book. You're going to learn exactly what the pros use to create those incredible images. And when people see your shots with the iPhone, they're going to go, I cannot believe you took these with your phone. But with the quality of the iPhone's camera and what they're doing with the iPhone software, you can absolutely take amazing pictures. In the book, I leave all the techno speak out, and instead I treat the whole book as if it were just you and I out on a shoot together, just you and me with our iPhones, and I'm there for just one reason, to help you unlock the power of your iPhone, so that you make pictures that when your friends and family look at it, they go, wait, you took this? That's what the whole book's about. You'll learn which tools to use to make pro-quality portraits in any lighting situation. You're going to learn how to create stunning landscape shots that will make people swear that you took that with an expensive DSLR or a mirrorless camera. You're going to learn proving posing techniques that flatter your subject and make anyone you photograph look their very best in every shot. You're going to learn how to organize, how to edit your photos like a pro, and you're going to learn the pros tips for making amazing shots of everything from flowers to product shots, from food photography to travel and everything in between. And if you're ready to start taking these pro-level shots that blow people's mind, then this is the book for you. It's in print and all the ebook formats, and you can get it directly from the publisher at rockynook.com, or you can pick up your copy wherever fine books are sold.
This segment of The Grid is brought to you by Canon.
Well, we're back. We're back. Okay, so I got some news. Just got a couple bits of news. First piece of news. So I'm starring on a TV show. It's going to sound crazy. I can't tell you all the details, but I will tell you this. It is a challenge, right? It's a challenge show. It's called The Great Create. Okay? So I can't show you the finished product yet, but it is, it's me against another top photographer. So we did a challenge, and I can't tell you all the details, but it's me. And of course, the guy I'm challenging is, you know, a young, good looking superstar. And I'm like, come on. Can't you find any old guys? What I was hoping for was somebody really like just terrible, but he's not. He's very good. He's like a full-time pro, full-time working pro. I'm like, I hate him. He's young, handsome, just can't stand him. Anyway, but here's where I want you to go. You can see a preview of the show, and my episode airs. They have all these different challenges. I'm only starring in the photography challenge. But this is the web address right here, maybe a bit bigger. Not quite that big. This is the web address. It's a horrible web address. I totally agree.
Boy, that's horrible.
It is. It's very bad, but this is what I got. You can go to my Facebook page, and if you see a picture of me standing in the studio, a video of me, the link is right there.
On Facebook, it's just down like yesterday, right?
Yeah, it's just like I put it up yesterday. So go to my Facebook page, click this link so you can see what the Great Create. But there's all different creative pursuits, and photography is one of them. And they pitch you against another photographer. And there's a lot more to it than that, but that's the basic thing. They pit me against some young stud, and I'm just...
Yeah, and now, speaking of photography show...
Yes, tell us.
We have something coming tomorrow, right?
Yes.
So we have this episode, we're premiering this new series called Cropped, where we're going to have... Basically, it's like a photography challenge, and it's one of those things where we have two contestants going against each other head-to-head. Full disclosure, we actually filmed this a while ago. We filmed this actually before COVID, and we were waiting for stuff to kind of change and stuff. So now we're premiering this first episode of Cropped, and then if it's really popular, really successful, we'll be making more. So check it out tomorrow at 1 p.m., April 8th. So tomorrow at 1 p.m., just come over to kelby1.com.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, we're gonna have Hilmar and Sam and Gerson Lopez live right tomorrow.
Yep.
So it's gonna be a lot of fun. I hope you'll check it out. It's something
it really
certainly
is
different.
It's really cool. So I mean, just something very entertaining yet educational. It's kind of
mine's not entertaining or educational.
Yes, it will be.
No, it's good. It's fun. It's very fun. It's like
that's the thing. It's
entertainment based. It's not. Yeah. So the thing that I'm doing with that TV show, it's not. I'm not teaching. You're just watching me.
But that is, you're learning through seeing what you're doing.
You're learning through seeing a cool guy and an old guy face off. And it's like in the middle of it, I had to stop and get Metamucil. So
I'm rooting for the old guys.
Well, speaking of Metamucil, we got giveaway prizes today. We won't be giving away Metamucil, but what will we be giving away?
Well, we're giving away, it depends. And no, we're giving away cool stuff like this. Did I tell you about this book right here?
Ooh, yeah, that's a good one.
So yesterday, Jefferson Graham, you know Jefferson from
Yes, I
USA
do.
Today. He was been the tech writer for USA Today for many years. Like tweeted out like how much he loves the book.
Yeah, I was just talking to Jefferson today.
Yeah, he tweeted out he loves the book. It's the #1 release in, well, it was yesterday, the #1 release, and has been in digital photography for like a month now. So it is one of my best-selling books in years. There it is. It's the iPhone photography book.
Yeah, he loves it. And
Someone's going to win it
And
today.
people all over, they love it. I've been reading the reviews and just people. That
Yeah, I'm very excited about it.
absolutely,
It's
crazy about it. I think what it is they're realizing the potential of their iPhone that they didn't even
Yes.
realize they had.
And
You know?
people are getting this for friends that are iPhone
Yes,
photographers,
yes.
right? Like you have a friend or a family member that's kind of into their iPhone photography. This actually teaches them. Yeah, it's about 25 or 30% is stuff that's in the phone, like
Yes.
cool phone stuff that you didn't know was there. But the rest of it is teaching you photography, like the stuff that we teach the pros. The only difference is instead of holding a Nikon or a Canon or a Sony, you're holding an iPhone.
Yes.
Same technique. So we're
And
giving away
they're
that.
all cameras.
You know what else
They're
we're
all
giving away?
cameras.
Platypod. Platypod. Not
yeah.
just the Platypod Ultra, which is here.
And the
The
accessory. kit.
multi-accessory kit, which is very nice. It's worth this.
Oh,
It's
yes.
a big, expensive. Now, what else do we have to give away? My KN95 mask. Now it's black, matches my shirt and shirt.
Barely used.
Barely used. It has the least bit of COVID possible.
You made a break it in
Let's
for
say
you.
we're also going to give away a copy of Boris Effects Optics. Yeah.
Yes,
that's
let's
what
do
we're gonna
that instead of the
Yeah,
mask.
yeah.
Do that instead of the mask.
Yeah,
Just
so
take
we're
the
going to
mask
give away
off.
Boris Effects Optics, which this is an awesome visual effects software for Photoshop, for photographers. So there you go. We're going to be giving that away.
That's cool.
Oh, and before we move on, I do have that filter. So this is the filter that I use. It is the Skytech CLS filter, and you can see what it does is it just drops in right in front of your sensor there, and that's what blocks the light pollution. You can see right here, the nerdy stuff. You see the little lines there? So the red lines are what the light pollution typically is, and you can see it's just cutting out those lines in the spectrum. So it's letting through the light from the stars that is good. It's taking out the light from the cities. That's all it's doing.
All right, Jeff, thank you, Eric. Jeff has a follow-up on my thing.
Yeah.
Jeff?
Yeah, so we were talking about lenses. Did you know, obviously, you know that your camera should be updated with its latest firmware all the time. And,
Yes.
and the newer the camera, the more often the firmware is updated. So make sure that your camera is up to date on firmware. But did you know that you can also change the firmware on most lenses? And you can do that in most cases either on a dock or right through your camera. So make sure that if you are experiencing a little bit of focus issues and stuff, make sure that you're up to date on the firmware for the lens itself, not just the camera.
So you connect a USB to your computer, right?
Well, it depends. It depends on which lens you're using. Some lenses will have a little dock or a USB connection to allow you to upgrade from that. On the Canon system, you do
I
it
don't
right
have
through.
any lenses that got a dock.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Some
like,
third parties have
Sigma,
docks. Sigma and Tamron
yeah,
do.
They got
Yeah.
a dock.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I just got a new Tamron lens. Does mine have a dock?
If you buy the
You
dock.
got to buy the dock.
Oh, you got to buy the dock?
You got to buy
Yes.
the dock. Yeah.
How much is the dock?
I don't know.
It's like $20-$30.
I don't know. But on the Canon system, you actually upgrade right through your camera, just as you would on your camera itself. It'll show you camera lens, and you can actually update in the same manner just by putting that firmware on an SD card.
Some lenses will actually have the USB port built into them.
Correct.
It just covered up by like a little like plastic piece or something.
Yeah.
There's probably some people that have lenses that have USB ports on them. They don't even know.
Wait, is this
covered
the, like I'm looking at Tamron because I just got a Tamron 150
To 600.
to 600, and there is a Tamron tap-in console for Canon EF lenses, and it lets you adjust the firmware and adjust settings.
Correct.
It's $59. B&H has got it in stock.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so
kinda what you
most
need.
people
Do I gotta
don't
buy it?
realize. Yeah, they just don't realize that their lenses have
Do
it.
you have to buy it? I guess if like you were having a problem and you
I'm
needed
not
to
having a
update
problem,
it.
but now I'm freaked out.
Well, don't do it until you actually need to upgrade the
that's
firmware.
The thing. We could get a paralysis by analysis, right? We can overthink this.
But wait a minute. How do I know, Jeff? May I call you Jeff?
Yes, you may.
Oh, I spilled makeup everywhere. How do I know if there is a firmware update for my Tamron 150 to 600?
You would have to go to Tamron's
Yes,
website
yes.
and actually look it up.
And then you have to look at the firmware version you're on.
That's right. You have to find out what firmware version
How
you're
do I
on.
know what firmware version I'm on without the dang dock?
Oh, man.
I don't know. We're
No,
getting,
seriously. How would I know what?
I'm sure there's an easy way
I'm
to
sure
find
there
out.
is.
I doubt there is.
But I don't know.
I don't believe you. Hold on.
I'm sure if you just bought it, that it's probably pretty close to up to date.
Correct.
So I think you're okay for now. So my suggestion to you
They
would
don't
be,
update the lens firmware as much as they
no,
would update
they don't.
a
They don't.
camera firmware.
So don't buy the dock until you have to update
Yes,
the firmware.
yes.
Well, now
They
I
could
think
just do it all together.
Oh,
Now
man,
everybody's
that-
freaked out and they're like, oh my gosh, I gotta go buy the dock.
Everybody-
freaked out.
Everybody with a
They're gonna be
camera.
sold
Dang,
out
we
in
never
like
should have
5
done
minutes.
this show.
Like all the docks are gonna be, B&H is gonna be cleared
Jeff,
out.
you are banned from the grid.
Hey,
Oh, look.
what do you got?
Yeah, it says here, the Tamron 150 to 600. Now, this might be the old one. Can be updated for use on the Canon EOS R.
Yes, so that was the problem. Remember I was telling you with the Tamron that there was a problem with the EOS R? There was a problem with the Tamron with the EOS R. Subsequently in the newer ones, but if you don't update your firmware, it just has a problem with like, it doesn't fire properly. Like
Well,
every
with some
third
of the-
shot
Mine
doesn't fire.
fires
Yeah.
so far, but
Well,
should
you
I-
have an R6. You don't have an EOS R.
Oh.
There was some issues
I'm
with
not sure
some
what I have.
lens correction
I'm not even sure it's
software
Canon.
stuff, but yes, you do.
Yeah,
You
turns
know it-
out.
Well,
you
there
know
was a
what you're shooting
firmware
with.
update in February.
Turns out you have a Pentax. Who knew?
Hey, that was my first camera.
Yeah,
I had a Pentax. I loved my Pentax.
they work.
So now you're going to be on the
Sometimes.
hunt to find out what version of our firmware you're on. So have fun with that tonight.
Oh Lord, no.
You guys have messed up my whole day.
Yeah.
Well, you wanted to be geeked out, and you came up with that's a
No,
great.
that is a good one.
That was a
That's
great
good
geek
one.
out you had earlier, and I just needed to expand on that
Yeah,
because I don't think enough people realize
you
it.
upped the game by ruining my
Yeah,
day.
I'm
Now to be up
sorry.
tonight, doing
No,
firm.
it is so
I gotta
true.
order this thing from
It
B&H
is so true,
now.
though. If we back up from it, like a lot of times the problems that we'll have can be fixed by just updating.
Yeah,
But
You know?
Eric,
exactly.
how was there any way for me to know? Come on, seriously, what version of
with
the
you.
firmware that I have in my Tamron 150 to 600? Help me out. Talk to me.
I don't
I'd
know.
have to go look.
You're going to have to do the research, or
You have to do the research.
All right.
I'll call a friend when we're done.
All right. I know people at Tamron.
Well, somebody's
don't I?
gonna know.
Somebody's gonna know.
gonna know in the chat.
Chat it, yeah,
Like,
put it in the
hey,
chat.
if you want to
Help
check
us
your
out.
firmware on your Sigma or your Tamron or
Can you
anything,
get a whoop whoop in the chat?
Come on, give us some
how do
help.
we do it?
All right, let's do this. Let's take a break so we can all collectively
Calm down.
do something.
Yeah.
We have shout outs we haven't given.
Yeah.
We got prizes to give away.
Scott's freaking out.
I'm
He's
freaking
updating.
out.
He's got to update his
freaked
lens.
out.
Oh my gosh.
I am total. I'm
He's
freaked
done.
out.
He's out of here.
I'm out.
Would you believe us if we told you that you could fit studio lighting in your pocket? Well, Lytra has made it possible. Lytra is a global award-winning brand that designs and manufactures professional-grade camera lights that are compact, rugged, and waterproof. Whether you're using Lytra gear in a photo studio or underwater, Lytra's mission is to provide content creators with flexible and unlimited lighting tools that can mount on any camera, anywhere. Their lights come with a high CRI or color rendering index, making them some of the most color accurate lights in the industry. Due to the light's compact and rugged design, photographers are able to use the lights in ways that their studio lighting never could. Lytra has also made multiple lighting accessories available to fit your every need as a creator. Whether you're shooting portraits, nailing a product shot, or even flying your drone, they have got you covered. Lytra enables photographers and filmmakers to focus on their craft and create something beautiful. What will you create?
This segment of The Grid is brought to you by Platypod, the world's most compact tripod base.
Make sure you don't miss any episodes of The Grid by subscribing to Apple's podcast app or iTunes. It's free, and we even have a special audio-only version too. So sign up today.
Oh, folks, we've uncovered some bull. We had good news and bad news. Erik, tell us the good news.
Well, the good news is you can actually check by just your serial number. So as long as your serial number is above 040336, you have version 2 or later, which I know you do because it works fine with your camera.
That's true.
If you were telling me, hey, you had a problem.
So next week, Erik and I are shooting the Sun and Fun Fly-In
Yes.
Aviation Air Show. It's got the Blue Angels and all the good stuff. It's a great, great air show. We're shooting that next weekend.
Yep.
That's my first big test. That's where I'm going to do my...
Yeah, but we've been putting it through its paces, so
Yeah, I've
I'm
been
not
trying
worried
around the house
about
and
it.
shooting like, oh, there's a squirrel, there's a tree, there's my car.
You just got it, so I can't imagine you're not up to
Yes,
up
I
to
imagine.
up to
Now,
date.
what's the
How long that thing was in
what's the
stock?
bad news?
Here's
What's
the bad news. I went to B&H. That's not the bad news. Went to B&H, and it lists, that Tamron tap-in console that lets you do firmware updates, it is compatible with my lens. That's the good news. What's the bad news? This sentence right here.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
An initial firmware update performed by a Tamron service facility on these lenses is required to enable the compatibility with Tamron's tap-in console. So I would have to send my lens to Tamron or a Tamron service facility. By the way, I got a feeling that there's not a Tamron service facility in Tampa because there's not even a camera store in Tampa.
You're going to be amazed at how much people behind this, people that are watching this, have no idea how much the amount of research that went into this last short break. I swear.
That's because Erik's
It was
very
crazy.
fast at research. It's
That's
his jam.
insane. That is great.
Well, I'm just telling you, it's working. But that was a problem with that lens. I know that's a problem with that lens. If you're on an older version, you had an EOS R, it was just wacky new.
Well, I've tried mine. I don't see wacky nunu, but I swear if I go over there and I'm getting every fourth shot of the Thunderbirds, I'm taking that lens and I'm throwing it in the lake.
You won't.
Well, we're going to go
All right, hey,
and we're going to
running
look
on
up your
nerd time.
serial number.
Can you nerd us real quick? What do you got nerdy?
I don't got anybody got any questions? Nerdy
I have a
questions?
low-level nerd one.
Yeah.
Oh, there is a question.
Okay. Here we go.
I have
We
a
got
low-level
question.
nerd one.
Got a question for all three of you.
All right.
When you shoot with the R5 on internal timer intervals, is there a way to stop it instead of having to switch it off and back on the camera? So switch off and on. So you run an
Jeff, you
interval
got an R5?
I do. I got one sitting right here. I haven't tried. I shamefully haven't tried the.
I can tell you
timer
that
yet,
it wasn't introduced in the R5. The R5 is using the same intervalometer that like the 5D Mark IV,
Right.
the 5DS. It's the same technology. Even the R had it, And that is just a Canon thing that once you start the intervalometer, in order to stop it, you have to turn it off.
Yeah, turn it off.
That's just how it is. That's just.
There's no off button.
There's no like off button.
There's no escape
And they
button.
tell you to do that. They tell you like, hey, when you're done, if it's just set to go, just turn it off.
Jeff.
So that's obviously something you want to make a little request on and say, hey, on future models, it would be nice too.
Yeah, just have like
that might be a firmware thing, that they could write in the firmware
zoom
code.
button, the play button, like some button, just turn it off. Yeah.
All right,
That's
I'm going
good
to give
to
you a
have.
nerd
Good to
thing.
know.
Now,
All
this
right.
is the lowest level nerd thing that you're going to hear. But it's something that Erik and I absolutely swear by. But I talk to so few photographers who do this. They do not set up custom camera settings
Oh, yes.
for the things that you do the most. And so I will give you an example of the ones that I have set up. I'm out shooting. I have my walk around settings. I'm doing travel photography. I'm in a city. I'm walking around. I decide, I want to make an HDR image. Oh, look, there's a cathedral. I want to go inside and take a shot. I have to remember what all the things are. Where do I turn on HDR? It's not called HDR, it's exposure bracketing.
Oh, yes.
I need to remember a list of things for an HDR. I got to turn on exposure bracketing. I've got to set my release to be high-speed continuous. So when I press the button one time, it takes all three. Yeah. So you have all these settings. I want to make sure that my ISO is at 100.
Yep.
I want to make sure that my f-stop's at f11. I have this whole laundry list.
This is a great one.
Multi-function button.
Right. So what I do is this. Instead of digging through all this stuff, I just go to my mode and I choose custom mode 2.
Yep.
And it's every setting already perfectly in place. So what it is this. You take your camera, you dial in your settings, all of the settings that you would need for your HDR, and then you save it as custom setting 2. That's it. From now on my Canon, well, I don't know if on my R6, my R5 on the top window, it would show you little icons.
Your EOS R would show you. The R6 has a dial with a C1.
With the C,
You're right.
It's got the dial on it. It's right on top.
But it doesn't have the custom icon to show you what it is.
Yes. I actually like the R6 in the way it is because it actually is a click.
I do like
the C1, C2,
I do like
C3,
the hard button. I gotta tell you,
quick.
I like the hard button. Why? Because I'm old. The guy that did the photo challenge, he's probably like, oh, I need to touch the screen.
That's right.
That's because he's young and whatever. I remember at an age, I need a button. Anyway.
It's quicker.
So listen, then I want to shoot a long exposure. Totally different settings, totally different everything. I only have to enter it in my camera one time, and I save it as number 3. So my number 1 is walk around travel. Custom setting number 2, HDR. Custom setting 3, long exposure. And it's every single setting that I need.
Yep.
I don't have to remember them. And here's where you get burned without doing it. You forget one. You forget, and you shot a whole bunch of shots like I did at 1600 ISO when I'm on a tripod.
You forgot to turn it back out
Forgot
of the mode.
to turn the ISO. You forget one little thing. But if you use these custom
so
settings,
awesome when you do the
you
custom
will
settings.
not forget because it's locked in.
Oh, yeah. Though that's what, right now I have that on my list. So next week when we're shooting the air show, I have C1, C2, C3. C1 jets, C2 is fast props, and C3 is slow props. It is basically, C1 is going to be, I need to free its action, there's no props. C2 is, the plane's going to be a little faster, but it's a prop. C2, if it's a little slower and it's a prop, C3.
Hey, let me tell you, since you guys are doing an air show, I did a program for the Blue Angels Homecoming a couple years ago for teaching photographers to go out and photograph this. And I came up with this formula I found online for getting the proper prop
Yeah,
blur.
so you get a nice full
Yeah,
circle.
so you know the first step of that formula is that you have to know the RPMs of the engine that you're photographing.
Well, Erik probably does.
I know, but come on.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't?
Yeah, I know,
Who doesn't
right?
memorize the RPMs of the
And
props?
says-
then there's this
shooting?
whole
Come on.
calculation. It's like,
Erik
good
says,
gosh,
wait
the
a
jet's
minute.
past you, or the plane's past
Wait
you by
a
now.
minute. That's a British Spitfire. That's the 1942 model. It's 5,300 RPMs. Erik would know stuff like that.
Yeah, but don't you think it's been rebuilt or customized at some
No.
point in time?
No, you talk to the
Original
pilot
engine.
before and you figure out.
Yeah, that's what you do.
Hey, so how many RPMs you run on that?
That's right.
Jeff?
And when you're coming across.
Jeff,
Yeah.
can I say something?
Sure.
It's lucky that you're a very attractive man because you brought nothing else to the show today.
Yes, I did. I
You were
brought
banned?
Angst. And
Yes,
I brought,
yes,
I
yes.
brought
Just
a bunch of
disaster to your
He's
new lens.
banned from the grid. You are not allowed to go to Zaxby's afterwards and get a chicken sandwich.
Zaxby's. I thought we were talking about Olive Garden, man.
You got to get it to go. It's breadsticks, man.
Gotcha.
Can I tell you
Breadsticks and
something?
chicken
You're going to drive right
sandwiches.
past an Olive Garden.
I am.
On your way home. They'll bring it out to the car, Jeff.
I just got a text from my wife that said, "Are you going to be home for dinner?"
Yes, I am.
We're
Yes,
doing
I
Olive
am.
Garden.
All right. Well, we're going to real quick give some shout outs because we don't usually do shout outs at the end of the show, but we are today. Take it away. Then we got some giveaways.
We got everybody. We got Steven joining us from Baton Rouge. We got Nina from Pennsylvania. Frankly, from Germany. Lenworth saying hi to everybody. And then we got Paula Stone saying hi. Alfonso from Madrid.
Wait, stop.
Yes.
Alfonso, do you know what you and I have in common? My mother was born in Madrid.
There you go.
Yeah, my mother's super Spanish.
There you go. And then JP over there from Finland. We got Lisa from Atlanta, Dave from Southampton in the UK. We got Rose joining us all the way from 5 a.m. in New Zealand.
Wow.
We got Desislava from Bulgaria. We got Ben joining us over there. Ben Brigitte over there from Nottingham. And then
Ben, hold on, go back. Ben, I left you a note on LinkedIn. Go check your LinkedIn.
There you go. Lance from Los Angeles, Dale from Iowa, Jim from Colorado. We got Anders joining us from Sweden, Vincent from Belgium.
From Bruges.
So we got Cornell from Romania, Mista from Croatia.
Oh, we got everybody today.
We got Lisa in here saying that she's been to every single one of the online conferences since last May, and every single one has been phenomenal. So there you go. John Dukes has already signed up for the Outdoor Photography Conference and went to the Landscape Wildlife Travel Conference. We're amazing, and I'm addicted. I will need a 12-step program soon. And then our winners.
We got some winners.
We got our winners. So we got Lisa V is winning the Platypod Ultra and the accessory kit.
Nice.
Then we got Daniel David is winning your iPhone book. And then we got Nina is winning the Boris Effects Optics. So if you just email us if you want at gridprize@kelby1.com, then we'll verify your information and send you your prize.
Next week, Olive Garden gift certificate. Am I wrong?
Yeah, we need to get the Olive Garden sponsor.
I'm just going to do an informal poll. Eric, how do you like Olive Garden?
I like it. I mean,
Jeff?
we're doing scale or?
I'm good. I love
Christina?
it. Yeah.
Yeah? You like the Olive Garden?
It's consistent.
Salad and breadsticks. If you take those away, it's like Ruby Tuesdays. If you take away Ruby Tuesdays salad bar, no one will ever go to
I can
Ruby
get down
Tuesdays.
on the salad breadsticks, I'm about, but then it starts falling apart after the salad and breadsticks.
You got to try the lasagna or the eggplant. Now we get a.
Yeah.
I love their eggplant parm.
Hey, also Tour of Italy. They have a dish called Tour of Italy, which is like lasagna and it's like veal parmesan or chicken parmesan and something else. Tour of Italy. It's good stuff. Go hungry before you order the Tour of Italy because it's a tour.
And it just seems like the grid is becoming a.
It's a shareable plate.
It is a shareable. Wait, what about Jason in the booth?
Jason, what do you think? Do you like Olive Garden? He likes their sauce. He likes their sauce.
He likes their sauce.
How about
Good
Victor?
enough. Well, folks, we've come to the end of another fantastic show. Jeff?
Yep.
You were as informative as you are something.
I don't know. I giggled a lot. It's all
green.
good.
No, but it was great to have you here. It's always great to. I love your work. Look at his work behind him on those pictures.
Yes.
Really good stuff. Really great. Great
you.
architectural photographer. A great guy. A great graphic designer. By the way, graphic designers make the best photographers because you've got that sense of composition and balance, and you have all those things that are an everyday part of professional graphic design. They transfer over to photography so well. So you're kind of cheating.
Either that or Windows users.
And Windows users and Android users.
That's right.
Fuji.
Yeah. And I do use this computer. So
what?
Yes, I do.
What? Dude, you spent way too much on that.
But I'm not one of those guys.
Fact.
Yeah, I'm not one of those guys.
No, this is a Windows machine. I just put the
It's just a facade.
Mine's a Surface Pro.
It's just a facade.
We just put it on because it makes us look cool because only cool people have Macs.
We wanted to match across, right?
Uh-oh, that guy.
All right, Jeff, where can people go see your work, man?
JL Photographic is my Instagram account. So they should go to that, or JL Photographic Architecture. I have two. Or they can go right to kelby1.com and join. I've got 2 new classes coming out. That's why I'm here. I was just recording 2 new classes. So that makes me 4 classes now, Scott, on Kelby One.
I'd love to hear that.
Yeah.
You know what your class called What to Shoot When There's Nothing to Shoot.
Yep. And I just did What to Shoot too.
Did you?
So,
You
that's
think
what
I
we
would
just
know
recorded.
this stuff, but
Yeah,
Eric
that's
knows
all right.
this stuff. Look, I'm just here because I'm pretty. I know that. I understand it. I'm okay with it.
He's a pretty Mac
I'm
user.
okay with it. I'm like, you know.
Yeah.
I'm here because I'm pretty, and I
Sounds
know
good.
it.
But I appreciate the platform. I appreciate that. And it's always fun coming on and hanging out with you guys. So
We
good
love
seeing
having you
y'all.
over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
Did I tell you about the Tamron tap-in console? Canon, you're just a mess.
Oh my goodness! Now we're gonna.
Thanks to
we're gonna
all
be
my
updating
crew.
lenses
Thank
this
you to
weekend.
the awesome Christina, Jason in the booth, Ron, Victor, even Mike, who is adjusting color balance on the fly, running the jib like a boss. I haven't seen Juan today.
Yeah, I missed Juan today. I missed him all week, actually.
Yeah. One's out. He's editing.
He's editing.
Editing. All right.
All right.
That's important, too.
Yeah, we gotta
Hey,
make those
the
classes.
next time I see you guys, I'll have got my second vaccine shot.
There you go.
We're trying to get Erik his Friday. Jeff, how are you on the vaccine?
I've got one to do, the second one on the 19th of April. So,
All right. Mike,
yep.
vaccine? First shot. He's already got his first shot. Christina? Not yet. Not yet. She's living life on the edge. All right. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for putting up with our stupidity today. Mr. Kuna, thank you.
Yeah,
Jeff,
thanks.
my crew, our sponsors. Catch you guys next week.